yewe inganeza ukuthi impela nje abaqhuba lona ke icala lika Senzo Meyiwa sokujijona ke nephutha ke elikhulu kakhulu ngikathi ke ufakazi osokubombuso ke emabhokisini ke lofakazi njengoba ke ebeqhubeka ke nokufakaza bafethu indida ke ngakho ke uxhumana ka Kelly Khumalo ke naye ke umsolwa ke wesihlanu bafethu ngaphandle banikhuluma kakhulu ke angenishele ke obukwenzeka ngaphakathi ke enkantolo.
Thank you, Colonel Astey. Now, sir, may you kindly, from the documents that you have and the documents that you worked on, show me calls that were made after the incident that took place between accused number 5 and Kelly. Just take your time. The stack of documents that you have, go through and tell me what is called. That is call number 1, call number 2, and etc.
After the incident?
Yes.
I only got information section 205 until the 27th.
So you don't have calls that were made after the 27th?
No, no.
I mean after the incident?
No.
Mina ke ngakuthola ukuthi ke ma calls noma ke ukuxhumana okwafica ke nge27 ukuthi ke ukuxhumana kwakukhona emuva kwesiganeko cha anginakho lokho.
No, now I hear you mentioning the 27th. What's the 27th? Because this incident took place on the 26th.
That's correct?
Yes.
But they only requested information for section 205 until the 27th.
Okay. Mina ke engakucelwa ke ukuthi ke ama 205 sengwenzayo ukuthi ayogcina ke nge27.
So you don't have calls after the incident,
no,
which you're able to identify?
Ukuthi ama calls ke esemuva kwesiganeko cha anginakho.
That's a fact.
That's correct.
Thank you.
I can just double check on Pinky's records, but I don't know. I don't think I got
records. Okay, no, fine. You can go on Pinky's records. That is now Mrs. Vitilingam.
That's correct.
Thank you, sir.
Stop on the 27th.
Ubheke kula ka Pinky ke lo ka Vodacom ke uthi gcina nge27.
Now somebody coming and tell this court that I can state it for a show that there were indeed calls that were made after the incident, which were between accused number 5 and Kelly Khumalo. That will be wrong, not so?
It depends on what section 205 is in their position.
Thank you.
Uma kungafika umuntu ke athi yena ke ngesiqiniseko akhona ke noma kwakhona ukuxhumana kwakukhona emuva kwesiganeko phakathi kwakhe ke uKelly Khumalo kanye nomangalo wesihlanu ngabe lo muntu wenza iphutha yini uthi ke lokho ke kuzoya ngokuthi ke yipi ke isection 205 anayo.
Let me be very direct with you. Let's go to exhibit O1, which is your affidavit, page 23. Now, I think it's paragraph 4. The last but one line where it says two different, okay, I'm going to start just above that. It says the number Kelly Khumalo, 27827044358, had contact with the number 27733059202 on 2 different occasions. Calls made before and after the incident. That is the 2nd of August and the 15th of October. Do you see that?
That's correct.
Thank you. Now, which is the reason why I asked you to show me calls that were made after the incident. And you say such calls never happened, not so?
That's a typing error, my lord.
Kodwa ke umfundela lana ke la kubhalwe khona inamba ka Kelly Khumalo 2782704438 yayi noxhumana ke nenamba 277330592002 kumahlandla amabili ke 2 August 2014 ne15 October 2014 tumephendula ke noma kubhaliwe ke lana ama calls enziwa ke ngaphambi nasemuva kwesiganeko uthi nje uma sekubhalwa ke khona lapha kwaba nephutha.
What could have occasioned this mistake, sir?
Come again?
What could have occasioned this mistake? I'm sorry, I'm not shouting. I'm just trying to help you to hear me well. Don't misunderstand me to be shouting. So I'm saying, what could have occasioned, what could have caused this typing error?
I don't know. It's a typing error.
ukuthi ke leli phutha lenziwa yini angazi yikwaba yiphutha nje.
You're only realizing now that this is a typing error.
That's correct.
Kuyiqiniso ukuthi kuyinto engiyibona manje ke ukuthi kuyiphutha.
Thank you, sir. On several occasions, for starters, we are led by the state throughout this document. When you proffered your testimony in August last year, I just can't remember the date, the state took you throughout this document. Didn't you realize then that this was a typing error that needed to be corrected?
I didn't read my statement line by line. I took it out of my head.
Kusukela kunyaka ondluleke umshushisi ke ubuza imibuzo qhutshwe kwakhe nabameli bekubuza imibuzo awukaze yini ubone ukuthi yiphutha lelo lalifuna ukulungiswa ngasifundanga ke istatement sami ke lokho bengusho nje lokho ke engikwaziyo noma ekula kumina ekhanda.
Thank you. You were also subjected to cross-examination by all the defense counsels here. Did it not also occur to you that you needed to correct this, as it was a typing error?
No.
Thank you.
Okay, nangenkathi kubuzwa ke imibuzo noma ngihlonya imibuzo abameli nalapho ke akungifikelanga ke ukuthi angilungise leli phutha.
You were also re-examined by the state. It also did not dawn on you that you should indicate and correct this error which you're referring to as a typing error when you were being re-examined for the last time by the state.
That's correct.
Namanje ke uma umbuso usophinda ke mhlawumbe imibuzo nalapho ke angikubonanga ke noma kufikanga kumina ukuthi ke angilungise lelo phutha lelo.
Thank you. Now, is it correct that I heard you well yesterday when the state asked you a question? Just a second. With regard to the information that is contained on table number 20, on the table that is in page number 23 of your affidavit, which is exhibit 01, with regard to the 2-hour rule, and you said to the state, I forgot to include the 2-hour rule in my previous affidavit. Did I hear you well in that regard?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Kuyiqiniso ngizwe kahle ke uma bengisho ke ngiphendula umbuzo kamshushisi ukuthi ngakhohlwa ke ukufaka leya rule noma leya mthetho ke wamahora amabili. Istatement sami sangaphambilini.
Now just to clear or to clear up this issue and to try and understand what is it that we're talking about, I'm going to request you to put on record which information, or in relation to what information did you forget to add this 2-hour rule on?
The information receiving from the download.
Kuloko kumayelana ke naleya mniningwane noma leya information etholakala kuma download.
Let's take it step by step. From the download, you received so many information as I was listening to your evidence. Specifically, the state was referring you to what is contained in page number 23. If you can go to page number 23 of your affidavit. We are on page number 23.
That's correct.
Thank you. Now, as I'm saying, just to understand each other so that you are on the same page, me and you, that 2-hour rule that you forgot to include in your affidavit in relation to page number 23, what aspect of information contained in page number 23 were you referring to?
I don't understand you.
Yes, I can see you don't understand me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because the time here must be 2 hours plus.
Ukuthi ke umbuzo wakho ukuthi yipi ke ingxenye noma isigaba salo ku page 23 engakhohlwa kusona ke ukuthi ngifake le rule ye 2 hours angikuzwa ke kodwa ke la isikhathi kufanele ukuthi ke sibe amahora amabili.
So on page number 23, there's a lot of information. There's a table, there is information, there's another little table there is also information at the bottom of page number 23. Now my question is, in relation to what information is contained in page number 23, did you forgot to include the 2-hour provision?
With the hours, correct.
Ukhohlwa kwami ke yebo kwakungokhohlwa kwami ngamahora ukhuluma iqiniso.
That I understand. What I'm asking is in relation to what information that is contained in page number 23 did you forget to include the 2-hour provision? I don't know how to put it.
My Lord, I also don't know.
No, I understand what he wants to get at, but I don't want to interfere.
Yes.
Because time is time.
That's correct.
You're talking about the concept time.
That's correct.
And you're not characterizing it as to at 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock. You're just taking the concept time. 2 hours was forgotten by you to be elicited on those documents, all of them.
Yes, that's correct.
That's how I understand it.
Let me try to put it this way. Actually, that is not what I'm meaning.
Okay.
Let's go to page number 23. Are you on page number 23?
That's correct. I already mentioned it.
Of your affidavit, just be patient. Colonel Stein, just be patient. Is it correct that on page number 23 there's a table there?
That's correct.
And that table, it's a table that consists of names of people like Kelly Khumalo, the cell phone numbers, the IMSI numbers, and all that information. Do you see that?
That's correct.
Is that the table in which you forgot to include that 2-hour provision on?
Now you're talking about this one, the top one. No.
Yes.
No, that is an extraction.
Lana ke phezulu la kubhalwe khona amagama abantu nama number asikona la engikhohle kona ukufaka lama hora amabili.
Thank you. Now there's a sentence there that says links from Kelly Khumalo, and they state the number that ends with 358 and from the number that ends with 202 Fisoguhle Ntuli at Nkani in brackets 5. Do you see that?
That's correct.
Now there is also save as Kelly 2 called section 205 Senzo. Do you see that?
That's correct.
There's another table there. Do you see that?
That's correct.
Now, is that the table wherein you forgot to include the 2-hour rule or not?
This table correct, yes?
Yes.
Yebo lana ke kule yesibili ke ithebulu ke manje nemininingwane ama IMEI ukuthi uhlobo luni le call iqala nini date isikhathi omunye kanye ne cell name yila khona ke ngikhohlwe khona ukufaka lamahora amabili.
Thank you. Now, so that we are again on the same page, let us include the 2-hour rule. Let us correct what you forgot. Let us now include what you forgot to include when you were preparing this document. Where should we include this 2-hour rule in this table?
22 plus 2, then it's 0, 0.
Where do we get that 22 plus 2 and then it's 0, 0?
Uthi ke lana ke ufuna ukwazi umela ukuthi sifaka kuphi ke manje lamahora amabili la kunesikhathi khona ke ubhale u22 uma ke ufaka amahora amabili ke uzoba u00.
Then it's on the 3rd of August.
Bese kuthi manje akuseyona ke i2 zika August sekuyi3 zika August.
So I've asked you, you say 22, then we include the 2-hour, and then it's going to be 0, 0. Where in this table do we include that as an expert? Let us correct your information. Where on this table do we include it? That must be on record.
I testified on yesterday.
I'm not asking you what you testified about yesterday. I'm asking you questions now. I'm not asking you questions yesterday. I'm asking you, where do we include this 2-hour provision in this table? That table has got headings. The what is it now? The MSSIDSN, the IMSI, the IMAIN, the call type, the start date, the call, the other party, the call time. Now, in respect of those headings, where do we fit in that 2-hour provision?
As a conclusion, the state has witnesses repeatedly. He was asked as to which aspect did he forget to include. He said the time must be 2 hours plus. And he was then asked as to that he must now include the 2 hours in the table. And he included that. He said 2240 must be 0040.
Let's call it let's call it like we call it in South Africa. 20 past or quarter past. Call it like so that we can understand. Don't come with 22 hours. Let's say 11 minutes past this or 12 minutes past this, so that we all understand.
Yes, it's 20 minutes.
That's it.
The first portion there on the table, he said will be...
I'm not so sure whether this is an objection or what, man, because I see now the state is taking over, leading of the witness.
Let Mr.
I don't know whether it's an objection or what, because he can only stand up on a point of objection, although it's not a parliament.
It's not an objection, it's a correction. Is that a correction or an objection, sir?
Well, my lord, we said that the witness has already answered this question repeatedly.
Right.
He was asked to include the 2 hours, and he has, in his answer, he answered and included the 2 hours. He said it would be 0040. And now he's asked again.
Wait. It becomes 004 when what is added to
when
that?
the 2 hours are
the 2
added.
hours
Yes.
is added to that time.
Yes.
And it becomes 004. That's why he says it's on the 23rd now.
No, he said on the 3rd of...
I mean on the 3rd.
Yes.
Now, onto which hour does he add the 2 hours? So that we all understand.
Yes. I'm not going to answer for him, but he said, on the 2nd of August, 2240 will be... 22... Yeah, 2240.
It's 11 minutes or 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's 22 minutes to 11.
22 minutes to...
20 minutes to 11 will be 20 minutes to 1. This is his answer.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Akushoyo namakulungisayo ke la umsheshisi ukuthi ufakazi kuphendulileke lokho ngoba idate ebhaliwe la i2 August 2014 wabe sethi ke manje leza i2 August izoshintsha zibe u3 August isikhathi sithi 22:40:47 but uma ke usengeza ke noma usu-add lamahora amabili akhuluma ngawo uzoshintsha lo ya 22 abe u00:40:47.
Okay.
So,
and we just, sorry to interrupt, we just want to refer to page 69 of the record of the 27th of July 2023.
Wait. Page 69 of the record, ne?
Yes.
Right.
Of the
July?
27th of July 2023.
2023, right?
Yes, it's line 3 up to line 7.
Can you read that for all of us?
It says, Mr. Steyn, we must keep in mind...
Objection, my lord. Objection. This is totally irregular.
It's not irregular.
It is, because the state had an opportunity to lead this witness on the information that he wants to place on record now.
No.
I am now cross-examining this witness. He will have an opportunity to re-examine him.
They say can do it in re-examination again.
Oh. This is highly irregular. Unethical as well, my lord. Because he knows what his responsibilities are. He can't do that when I'm cross-examining a witness.
Mr. Mnisi is always acerbic, and I think it's about time that he should be called to order. He should just carry on with... We always extend the courtesy to him as a court official, and it's expected of him that he should do the same.
My lord, I can't keep quiet when I see something which is wrong. And it is happening. and I simply keep quiet for the sake of being called an ethical person. Wrong is wrong for all intents and purposes. Courts are governed by certain procedures. Mr. Baloyi cannot stand up when I am cross-examining a witness and start to lead a witness on a particular aspect that he should have led that witness in his evidence in chief.
I don't understand.
The least that he can do is, if information comes up under cross-examination that he feels he needs to follow up that information, he still have a chance to do that under re-examination.
Yes.
But he can't do what he has now done. I don't care what he calls me.
I thought you as colleagues, you want this court to be empowered with the truth.
Yes.
It's not a court of tricks and technicalities. And it's not me saying that about the law. It's about 5 judges saying it's sort of a court of technicalities and legal niceties. As I understood Colonel Steyn, he tried to explain to you what happens when he adds the 2 hours. And you and Mr. Steyn couldn't understand each other. Thereafter, Mr. Baloyi stands up. That's why I say to him, call it like we call it in South Africa, 20 past 10 or what have you. Then he tells us that the time which is annotated as 22:40, when you add the 2 hours, it goes over to the 3rd of the day, and then it becomes 0040. Then Mr. Baloyi now says, actually this evidence by this very witness was on page 23. Sorry, was on page 69. Eh? I mean, now what are we fighting about? And all he's saying is that what this witness wanted to explain, you will also find it on page 69. As colleagues, just allow this guy to read that. That's it, and then we go ahead. Now we're taking points about a civic and what have you and what have you. Really?
It's the state that said I'm a civic, my lord. It's not me. I think that
so that's how I understand it. So,
I think that sentiment is directed to the state, but not
Baloyi
me.
is not leading this witness. He's reading from the record.
But my lord, that's my concern. That if he wanted to lead this witness on that aspect, he should have done that when he was leading him in evidence in chief.
Go on, sir. Yeah, I can continue.
Finally, my lord, let me just also put this on record. It is also unethical when a party realizes that the witness that they've called has got some a kind of a discomfort in answering certain questions, and then for that party to stand up in order to rescue the situation. That is unethical as well. Let me proceed. Mr. Steyn, now in terms of what you have just said now, how should actually now this table read like after the correction has been made?
It must read
Yes.
3rd of August 2014, 00:40:47.
Nanjengoba lana ke kubhalwe 2 August 2014 kwaze kwabhala 22:40:47. Manje uma sekulungisiwe ke kufanele kube u3 August 2014 endaweni ka22 kube u00:40 nama seconds awu 47.
Then the second time is 15 October 2014. The 17 become 19, 33:57.
Bese kuthi landelayo ke yi15 ka October 2014 isikhathi sithi 17:33:57. Lo ya 17 ke manje usezosuka kube u19:33:57.
That is now in terms of how this table should look like after it has been corrected.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Indlela ke leyo kufanele manje ifundeka ngayo ke emuva kokuthi sekulungisiwe.
Now, Mr. Steyn, is it so that this information, you prepared it yourself?
That's correct.
Kuyiqiniso ukuthi ke umuntu wayihlanganisa lokhu ke kwakuyimina.
Is it so that even before you send out this information, Actually, you started with a draft information before you could send it out. As we are doing the preparations, not so.
That's
The draft,
correct.
do you know what a draft is? Where
Yep.
you do, you know, a ramwerk, a
Yep.
skeleton work. Is that so?
That's correct.
Nokuthi ke ngaphambilini kokuthi ke bese ngiqedelela konke ke ngikuthumeleke ukuthi ke khona la bese noma ngithumela umsebenzi ke ebengekawuqedi ke lokhu ungathi ke ngaphambi kokuthi ngithumele lokhu osekuyikona.
Thank you. Now, even before you sent what you had already prepared, did you go through what you were supposed to send or what you have prepared before you sent it?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Kuyiqiniso nokuthi ngaphambilini kokuthi ngikuthumeleke ngakubheka.
Now, is it also correct that before you could come testify here at court, you had a consultation with the state on the basis of the information that you had prepared on behalf of the state?
That's correct.
Nokuthi ke ngaphambi kokuthi ngizokwethula ubufakazi ke enkantolo yebe ngihlezi ke namthushisi nababeshushisi kwenziwa lokho okuthiwa ke ukuconsulta noma ukuhlala phansi ke sikhulume ngecala.
Is it also correct that even before the beginning of the trial, you again consulted with the state for purposes of the trial after you had explained to them what is it that you had prepared on their behalf? Now you had a consultation for purposes of the trial, not so?
That's correct.
Nokuthi ke noma sengihlezi phansi ke nabo ngikhuluma nabo ke nokuthi ngibatshela ukuthi yini lena engihlanganisile ukulungiselela uqhula kwecala.
Thank you. Now, is it also so that you came and testified? You made reference to this document in your evidence in chief when you testified last year, not so?
That's correct.
Nangenkathi ngithula ubufakazi ke kunyaka ondlule ngangikhuluma ngayo le document leli.
Is it also correct that after you testified, then followed a cross-examination from the defense on the very same document that you had alluded to in your evidence in chief, not so? In other words, after your evidence in chief, you were cross-examined by the defense on the strength of this document, not so?
That's correct.
Nasemuva kokuthi umshushisi sebuze ke imibuzo nabameli nabo ke bangibuza futhi ngayo le document leni.
And after you were, all the defense counsel had cross-examined you, you were re-examined by the state, amongst others, on the very same document that you testified about in your evidence in chief, which you were also which you were cross-examined by the defense counsel, not so?
That's correct.
Uphindileke nombuso futhi noma umshushisi ke futhi sebeqedile abameli waphinde wabuza futhi ngayo le document.
Now you were recalled to come and clarify certain issues. Those issues were based on the same document that you had prepared and gave your first evidence in chief last year, not so?
That's correct.
Ngabizwa futhi ke ukuthi angiphinde ke ngizochaza ke la ko bengahlangani khona ke ngalo futhi le document leli.
And now you're being re-examined, cross-examined again on the strength of that document, not so?
That's correct.
Ngiyaphinda futhi ke ngibuzwa ngayo futhi.
Thank you. Now I've counted, say, more than 5 occasions where you had an opportunity to realize that there is information that you have forgotten to include in this document. Which information is the information that we have just dealt with some few minutes ago? But the essence of my question is, do you then realize that you had more than 5 occasions where you could have had the opportunity to make amends to the document that you had prepared to the state, not so?
I don't agree with you.
Angivumelani ke nawe uma uthi ke bengingangaphezulu kwamahlandla amahlanu la ebengalungisa khona ke iphutha leli.
Thank you. I won't argue with you. But let me tell you, sir, that indeed you had more than 5 occasions where you could have effected the corrections or the amendment on what you are now saying, something that you forget to include in the document?
No, I still can't agree. Because I did complete the statement, and the statement was spark.
Thank you.
I didn't read it every day. 2 years later, I come and testify.
Nalapho ke angikavumelani ke naloko kushoyo ngoba ke istatement yebo ngasenza ke sase siyabeka emuva kweminyaka emibili ke istatement ngisenzile ke ngazo kwethula ubufakazi.